I'm Chef Jasper, and today we're in the kitchen preparing a holiday favorite in my family. It's shrimp, crab, and lobster pot pie. It really is delicious. I'm going to show you some tricks, and it's going to help you make a delicious dish everyone in the family is going to enjoy. I guarantee you. So let's get started. First of all, let's get that pan on the stove here. Let's add some butter. Yes, a little bit of butter, maybe a lot of butter. You're going to need it. Okay. We have some shrimp here. Now, you can either leave the shrimp whole or you can cut them. Doesn't matter. If you just want to do it by hand, it doesn't matter really. The shrimp, these are beautiful shrimp I have here today. I like the larger pieces of shrimp. I want to bite into that shrimp. I don't want this shrimp to disappear. The crab's going to kind of dissolve enough. So we'll let that be, and we don't have to touch that at all. But the shrimp, just keep it whole, just like this right here, and just cut them up as you put them into the pan. Now, along with the shrimp, we're going to add some beautiful lobster tail. I've already taken those out of the shell. Look here. And we want to kind of keep these in nice pieces too, because we don't want those to kind of disappear at all. They'll cook very, very quickly also. Oh boy. Beautiful lobster meat here. And along with that lobster meat, I have some delicious crab. Let's go ahead and add that. Crab will take just a few minutes. So in the meantime, let's start chopping some mushrooms and green onions. All right, with the mushrooms, we don't want to cut them too small. So we'll just start slicing. And you can put little chunks in there too. Actually, these little babies are beautiful. You really don't even have to cut them if you don't want to, because they are nice and small, and they're just going to kind of cook down with everything. We like that. So maybe we'll leave a few of them whole. How's that? Let's add our crab now. Give this a quick stir. Oh yeah, that's cooking very quickly. Look at that. Oh, look at that butter right there. Does that look beautiful? There we go. I always say I wish you had a little smell-o-vision in here in the kitchen studio, because it smells delicious here. Let's turn our heat up a little bit also on this. Add the mushrooms. And like I said, I want to add some whole mushrooms, because they're just small enough where we could do that. We'll turn our heat up a little bit here. I have my favorites, some beautiful green onions here now. And again, we don't want to disappear, so we're going to nice little pieces here. Never waste any of this green onion, because not only does it taste delicious, it gives such great added flavor. And again, what are we doing? Like I always say, we're building layers, giving this dish a lot of flavor. And we just can't add everything to a crock pot and make this. This has to be kind of built, and that's what we're doing here. Just continue to saute. It'll just be a few minutes. All right, at this point, everything is just cooking and coming together. And we're going to add our onions. Give it some great flavor, a little depth. Now, remember, you don't see me putting a lot of salt on here right now. I really don't think I'm going to need much. We will when we adjust it with the cream at the end, but we'll see where we're at. All right, I like it just like this right here. Let's get our next ingredients ready here. We're going to splash the pan with a little bit of local whiskey, my absolute favorite. This just gives it the kick it needs, I'll tell you that right now. My father used to always add either whiskey or sherry wine or a little bit of white wine to a dish, especially with seafood, and would really bring out the flavor of that seafood. Oh my, man, I'm smelling it now, and this is it right here. A little bit of Dijon mustard. This really mixes well. At this point, let's add a little bit of cayenne. A little bit of paprika. Continue to mix this all together. Like I said, we're building layers here. And this is right where we want this right now. And we're going to add just a little bit of salt, not much. Okay, let's go ahead, add our cream. Now, if it's too thin, if you think it's too thin, at this point, once it comes to a boil, I made a little roux here. So we can just actually thicken it as we need it. Depending on the cream, you know, because when you buy that cream, we're looking for a heavy whipped cream for this. We don't want a light cream. We don't want a half and half. We want the heavy cream for this. It does make a difference. I mean, we could do it with milk, and we could just add, you know, cornstarch or flour to it, but it's not going to be that rich flavor. And we're playing with lobster tails here. Come on. Of course, we don't want to take away any of that flavor of that beautiful lobster tail. All right. Tarragon. Ah, fresh tarragon. We need that in this. I'm not even going to chop this up with a knife. I'm just going to do it all by hand. I like a little tarragon in this. I think one more should do it. And of course, I have some chives. Got to have those chives. If you know me and my cooking, love the chives, love the green onions. I think you get more flavor. You know, I love to cook with shallots. To me, sometimes a white onion is just a little too plain. We get a lot of flavor out of a white onion. We'll cook it in butter. Of course, it's going to get flavor, but this is the beauty. You know, it's like almost like springtime coming to life inside of a dish here. Great for the holidays. This is great. You know, you want to have everything prepared and get ready, and you don't want to sit there and have to worry about cooking for, you know, 5 or 6 people. And you just put this little casserole in the oven. You can make it ahead of time. And okay, now let's test the thickness of this. I'm thinking we're going to need a little roux, and I have it right here. Just butter and flour. Let's slowly incorporate that. There you go. Turn our fire off. And we're just going to set this aside. In the meantime, we have my perfect little casserole. I love these just to bake in. Always have. Now, we still need to add peas and carrots to this, but right now I want to get this ready. So, let's get a little bit of food release. I like to call it insurance. Of course, we'll add just a little bit of butter to the pan. Not much, just a little more for flavoring. We have enough butter in there anyway, but still, a little flavoring. Now, what I want to do is I have with me a whole crust. Now, I like puff pastry because it looks beautiful when I present it. Pie crust is also great. If you want pie crust on there, it's going to give a little bit of bite to it. And I think it's great with the cream sauce. It's going to give it's going to kind of melt in there, and that's what we like. But that puff pastry is just going to look beautiful. So here we have our puff pastry. How simple is this going to be now? Watch my little secret. I know. I put butter in there. It's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. We're going to measure it right, just like this. Yes, we can keep the dough just in little squares, and that's not a problem at all. But this is it. Look at this. You don't need anything else. I can take that up now. Kind of got an idea how I want this. You can make little designs on here, whatever you want to do. All right. At this point, our heat is off now. We're going to add our potatoes and just slowly fold that in. We don't want to do anything else but just fold it in. And of course, just a little bit of cracked pepper. We already have some cayenne in there, so we don't need a lot of pepper. And at this point, we're going to put right into our casserole. All right, let's give it a little taste here. Oh, yeah. That's a winner. A little fire on there. All right, spread that around just like that. And at this point, of course, we will add our puff pastry right to the top. How's that? Is that easy or not? Come on. Tuck that in a little bit here. Doesn't matter. I have a little bit of melted butter here. We're just going to brush right on top. You could do a little egg wash if you'd like. We just want that nice golden color right on there before we put it in the oven. We're going to bake this at 400 degrees. Now remember, it's already cooked, of course. But once you put that in the oven and that puff pastry starts coming up, then you know it's going to be a beautiful dish and something everyone in the family is going to love. So let's just put this in the oven very quickly. Ah, here we go, fresh out of the oven. Will you look at that puff pastry? And oh, you can smell it. This is my personal favorite during the holidays. Lobster, shrimp, and crab pot pie. It's easy, it's delicious. I guarantee you can make this at home and everyone's gonna give you a compliment this holiday. From my family to yours, I do hope you enjoy. Mangia bene. Brought to you by Hen House Markets.